Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. We're a bit little on screen, that's because hopefully there'll be a map there at some point, but hopefully we're big enough so you can see all our beautiful faces. It is a wonderful evening for us this evening, something we've been looking forward to. It's Saturday night, and here on the Baltic Star on a Saturday night, we just play other stuff that we just love the idea of. And we try and get friends on, we try and get some creators on, and tonight we've got someone who we like to think ticks both those boxes. He is at the centre of our very own sphere in that regard. Um, if it's your first time here, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you've been here a billion times, you're equally as welcome. Fid is in the house. Dux is in the house. I saw some others in the house. Who else do we see? If they're still there, it was Slayer, who made their debut, as the Aussies would say, on our channel last night, which was fantastic. And I must say, kudos to those guys for powering through all the problems we've been having on Roll20. We've started a new Roll20 group this evening, and it seems pretty stable so far. That's the second time I've jinxed it, so apologies in advance. I think, does the second jinx cancel out the first? I don't know. I'm hoping that's how. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so I don't know how long we're running tonight. Not too late because we've already told John that this doesn't need to be a one shot. So let's just enjoy time. If he kills us all off, he kills us all off. But you know, it's normally down to our own stupidity rather than his evilness, I would imagine. Chat if you want to, please do. It's a friendly chat. It's a welcoming chat. If we're not busy, we'll tend to join in and chat because we're capable of doing two things at once. If you say things, it might spill over into the game. Who knows? Who knows? We're chill like this. Just imagine you're sat at our table. You're not allowed to play, though. You're not allowed to play, honestly, but you can sit at our table and chill out with us. Grab yourself a drink. I've got a Pinot Noir tonight because it's summer, and you've got to drink a Pinot in the summer because I'm a wine snob these days. Although I drink it from a tumbler. We're all wine snobs in this channel. It's a very wine snobs from a tumbler kind of channel.
It is.
Or from a mug, in Ewan's case, normally. And Ben's, I think.
Yep, mug.
Yeah, perfect. Click that red sun if you want. Spend some points. What we got on tonight? Anything pinky will make a noise and just and totally ruin John's flow in the middle of some TMing. So please do that. He's allowed me to put Boon on, which is lovely, and name an NPC. So get involved in that. There's one thing that keeps one credit and one credit always. I'll do for that. Oh, good start. Bewitched getting destroyed by a horrible Godzilla incident. But yeah, have a click and find out what you fancy. I don't know. Get involved. Enjoy yourselves. I think that's enough faff, to be honest. Let's get started. We're all too excitable because, like I say, we're joined by royalty this evening. But it is not I. My name is Luke. I'm just a common people, and I'm here in the top left-hand corner this evening. Good evening. Are we allowed to say who our characters are yet, John?
Yeah, go for it.
Fantastic. I play a character called Hieronymus Marks, otherwise AKA the Marksman, and he's a ventriloquist by trade, a space ventriloquist. It's not so good when he's got his helmet on. It's a niche skill in space. I am joined by the man below me, only on the screen, in no other way. My brother from another mother, the housewife's favourite, the Floofmeister General. As I roll up my sleeves, he is the magnificent Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hi, I'm very good, thanks. I'm excited. I had a thoroughly good time last time we played Deep Space, and it's a great system. Can't wait to see what plans we get up to this time.
Oh, no, let's put that graphic up. Now, if I remember correctly, Ewan, last time we played, you played as someone called Curzon. What's happened to Curzon?
There was an incident. Because of. I suppose I'm not going to blame other people, but because of you and Ben, he never made it back to his child that he was collecting gifts for most of the time.
And it was his last day.
And he was going to get married.
He was one day away from retirement, about to get married. It was his kid's birthday, I think, the next day.
I see the recriminations have begun.
Mm. But, you know, we won't talk about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Right, who are you playing as tonight?
Tonight I'm playing as Keith. Keith Just.
That's enough about Keith. Moving on down to the down to the bottom, which is strange because he's normally at the top where he should belong because he's the smartest man in any room, living in his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence, and is generally to be seen in Faversham being carried around on the backs of half a dozen heavily oiled Eastern European men. He is a splendid character. It's Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm brilliant, thank you. Yeah, very, very well. Very well. It's been a good day so far. And I'm hoping for a thoroughly entertaining and possibly life-ending experience.
Well, we can't all be you in that regard. Why don't
Just
you?
wait.
Well, you, Ben, have managed to bring a character back for a second session because you managed to not die last time round.
According to John, this is a remarkable achievement in one of his games. So I'm very proud of this, and I expect it to not last. But yes, Link Cable is the name of the character, and as the name suggests, he has a particular interest in hacking. You can tell he has an interest in hacking because he picked it as a special skill, and he's very mediocre at it.
Considering it's his special skill, Ben, look at your sheet. I believe it's a 6. What is his matching just general skill? Let's see what his specialist is on par with.
Oh, science.
There you go. What a guy. He sounds wonderful. Sounds like you and him would hit it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What he's best at apparently is subterfuge.
Yeah. We're a very strong subterfuge unit, if I remember correctly.
I think we are, or were. We have lost a third of our number, so I don't know what Keith is good at.
Just being Keith.
He might surprise you.
I certainly hope so. And dear viewers, did you hear that voice? It's a wonderful voice. It's a voice that we haven't heard on this channel for a while, and it comes from a splendid man.
Oh, no.
A man who I have had many dreams of.
Oh,
I wake
Jesus,
up screaming in the night, realizing that it's not true. It's John Hicks. Good evening, John. Designer, creator, raconteur, dream invader.
Please stop.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. By the sounds of things, I'm doing even better than even I realised. Thanks for that, sir. Thanks for that wonderful intro. How are you? How are you three anyway? Is it all good?
Yes, good, thank you.
Yeah, I've been following your Traveller games. So so I'm more than happy to be here.
Fantastic.
You've got more patience than us then. I struggle.
Well, I did say I'll be done by 12.
Yes, we do enjoy a bit of Traveller. It has to be said. We have invested a lot of time and effort in those characters, and we do love them just a little bit.
It is good. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. And I think tonight's going to be a lot of fun. Is it going to be a lot of fun, John? Please tell us it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun for me. I can pretty much guarantee that. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone. Not just you guys, but also for your many viewers who I hope will get involved with the chat and chuck some ideas out there.
Sounds like a challenge to me, dear chatters. Get involved. We've all been introduced. Time is of an essence.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's exactly one. John, please. What are we playing tonight? It's a moment of excitement.
Yeah, hey, tonight you're playing a brand new adventure called Ice Moon Station Zulu 31. Try to get as many references to some of my favourite films into that title as possible. It's basically another sort of space Cold War espionage game with a little bit of a twist. So would you like me to crack on?
Please do.
Love you too.
Let's crack on. So very simple game. I'll explain it very quickly to your viewers. Basically, it's a D12 based game. They have 11 skills with a score between 1 and 11, and all they need to do is roll a D12, add their skill to the dice results, and then score 13 or more, and that's adjusted depending on difficulty. And that's it. That's the game system. Very, very simple. Tonight, though, I will be using another rule, which I hope will help you guys out a little bit. This is from one of the expansions to the game called the Explorer's Companion, and it's called the Destiny Roll. And I'll just read from the book. Sometimes fortune does not shine on an explorer, and the worst could happen because of a failed roll. What you can do is opt to spend some of the points in one of your other skill scores and add them to the roll to get yourself out of trouble. But those points that you spend are permanently off that skill for the rest of the adventure. So you could lower your skills to make a certain roll that you might need, but then that skill that you've taken the points out of, and you can only take it out of one skill at a time, those points are then stay off that skill for the rest of the adventure. I mean, and what then we've got to do is explain those loss of points. Well, maybe you've suffered an injury, you've strained yourself, to make that roll something that's happened, which has reduced that skill in points, that particular skill in points. So there you have it. So just remember that. So when you do get into a little bit of trouble, just remember that you can take, and it has to be a different skill than the one that you're using. So you can take points out of another skill and add it to the roll that you've already made. Yeah?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect.
Socks asks, is there a limit to how many boons can be bought this evening? Do you want it to be sensible?
Boons. What are boons usually used for?
Well, boons would normally in Traveller you would roll 3 dice instead of 2 and go with
Yeah.
the top 2. For you, it might be slightly different, I guess. How would you like to run a boon? Add a point. Add a.
You can spend a boon point. Any viewer can only spend one each. Only fair. And you basically get to re-roll, or you can roll the D12 twice. So
Okay.
it's like rolling with advantage, basically. How about that? Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds
Fair
good.
enough.
Sounds good.
That
So one
sounds
boon
lovely.
each. One boon each, viewers.
One boon each.
One boon
so
each.
so use them wisely.
So we've got an NPC already, by the way. Johnny Wally, pick 'em up.
Mate, that is absolutely spot on. I am going to use that because the name that I was going to use for a certain character was Jones, and that's so much better. And also, you've called him Pick 'em Up, and that makes sense, and you'll find out in a few minutes why that is. Brilliant. So Sock Fiddler is basically a psychic. Well done. So excellent stuff. So anyway, let's get on with the game. So here's a quick introduction for you. This game is about you guys playing a replacement crew for a secret coalition deep space listening station on the ice moon of Zulu 31 on the border of conglomerate space. Not even the locals know about it, and you'll be arriving as tourists, but you'll secretly be ferried to the station for a 6-month tour on top of one of the few hills that the moon has. The station is an old genetics laboratory used when the moon was first settled, but decommissioned 5 years previously. Only a small crew are there, and you are to replace them. However, there has been a rumour of a possible leak of info from the station, and the coalition want to make sure that the outgoing crew can be trusted.
Okay.
So you'll be arriving on Ice Moon Station Zulu 31 on a starship called Titan Rise, where you'll be met at the starport by a guy called Johnny Wally, who will be picking you up and taking you to the actual outpost.
Okay.
Johnny Wally. Link, good to be with you again, mate. How's things been going?
Surviving. Yeah, keeping going. It's been all right. Yeah, something. It's one of those things. You know how sometimes you think someone's following you or watching you, or you're in danger.
Yeah.
Is it common to think that about everyone you see?
Well, I have been for the last few weeks, to be honest, just to make sure you're okay. I worry about you, Link.
Yeah, I think there may be reason. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Yes, I'm all right. You're doing good. You?
I'm good. Yeah, yeah. I must admit, did you I've I've recovered a bit since our dear friend Curzon's funeral. I noticed you there watching from afar. It was touching, seeing his little kid there crying with their little collectibles. His fiancée still with the wedding ring on her finger. It was sad, man. The ring that he was going to give her. It's sad. It was sad, but you know. Well,
Yeah. I
I'll go.
mean,
Yeah.
it was a bad end, which I'm sad happened to him, and pleased I suppose didn't happen to me. But when I think back on the lethal death ship of death, I don't have good memories.
Oh man.
Who died?
Oh, Jeff. Jeff. Who's this guy? Who? Whoa.
I don't know. He's been following me around. It's weird.
Why does he look like that?
Uh, you are?
I am what?
He's what apparently?
Oh no, he's one of those.
No, what's on second?
Who?
It took me a moment.
Third base. Right.
Mm.
You you're with us?
I'm here. I must be. Link. What's your name?
Link.
No, he's pointing now to that.
Oh, it's this guy.
to Heronius, as much as I would love that to continue.
My name's Hieronymus Marks. Nice to meet you. There must be a story behind that horrible facial scar you have, Keith.
No, what? Who?
Don't worry, we'll leave that for later on. Are you joining us today for this?
Yeah.
For what we for our tourism? Yeah, that's right, our tourism. You joining us for our tourism trip?
Yeah, I think so. I guess that depends. What happened to your friend? I'm sorry to hear about your loss, by the way.
Skateboarding accident. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Skateboarding.
Something to do with ollies.
Out of an airlock.
Exactly.
Mistakes were made.
All passengers. This is the Titan Rise. We'll be landing in 7 minutes. Please take to your seats or hold on to the nearest support bar. 7 minutes.
Yeah. I take firm hold of Marks.
I take firm hold of Link.
I look at those two holding each other firmly, and I take my seat.
Titan Rise is a huge ship. It's kind of a passenger liner type of cargo. It's not wonderfully comfortable, and if you had the choice, you wouldn't have chosen the ship. But it applies to spaceways. It's quite quick. It's quite cheap, and more than anything, it doesn't stand out. And it touches down on the moon of on the ice moon on the ice moon station Zulu 31, well, the ice moon of Zulu 31, which orbits a dying gas giant. It looks like the actual gas giant itself is collapsing in on itself, and what would usually be a nice bright gas giant like Jupiter is actually kind of a really dull grey. So as you're and the star is must be at least 12-15 AU away. So as your ship comes down to land, even though the surface of this world is white, I mean flat and very, very white, almost like the surface of Europa, say.
Mm-hmm.
It's also strangely, it's like a sickly grey. There's light that gets to it, but it's not what. So it's not really bright. So it's like a constant twilight across the entire planet. The actual planet itself is quite popular with extreme sports people. So there's plenty of crevasses for them to go skiing down. There's high altitude light sailing. There's loads of stuff for people to do here, but you can only do it for 1 day out of 3 because there's a strange thing about the ice moon of Zulu 31 is that one side of it, as it heats up in the brightness, the dawn, I should say, of the gas giant, it releases ice crystals into the atmosphere, which then almost form a bubble. Then, as it rotates into the cold area, that bubble freezes. Have you seen the shots of people blowing bubbles in sub-zero temperatures, and then that bubble freezes into a globe? Yeah, it's like that but on a planetary scale, and then that whole blob, that whole thing hangs up in the high atmosphere, and then as it goes round, it becomes too heavy, then it shatters. So it quite literally rains glass for 2 days, massive shards and slithers of glass which come down to the surface. It's extremely dangerous. It happens once every 3 cycles. So for 24 hours, everybody's having fun, and then they've got to stay in protective domes underground for the next 48 hours, whilst the entire moon is basically bombarded with ice, and from as small as tiny slivers that you get off out of your fridge to the size of car windows, like sheets of sharp ice. It's like I say, it's an extreme sports world, but yeah, extremely dangerous. It's also one of the very few places where you can tap into the actual underground and bring out certain elements which are quite rare in the coalition. So they've kind of got the best of both worlds. They've got a mining station there, which extracts the minerals from the centre of the moon, and they're making quite a lot of money from the extreme sports angle of it. And sitting somewhere on this moon is the Ice Moon Station, an abandoned genetics experiments laboratory area, which is now being used as a listening post for the conglomerates, which is a few light years away.
Oh. Link. Curzon would have loved this. Extreme sports, it was his bag, wasn't it?
It does actually sound like something he'd have enjoyed. He could have come here after he retired. He'd have had a time here.
He could have brought his kid here. They could have done the extreme sports together. It would have been a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not what you'd call the most beautiful of environments. Something flat about the light. You know, it's dull. But if it's adventure you want, I'm sure we could do that somewhere safer.
It's true, but as we're both tourists here, Link, just here for a while being tourists. I'm sure we can enjoy our time being tourists, Link.
Yeah. Carefully pulls out a sort of a camera and starts taking random photographs of whatever happens to be in front of it. Yep, tourist.
With a clunk, the Titan Rise settles onto the landing platform, blasting snow and ice in all directions. And very quickly, because it's only 18 hours until the next ice storm, people start to disembark.
After you, Just Keith, please.
Thanks. Then he will leave his seat and leave the vessel.
For such a desolate moon, sorry, go on.
I will follow close behind.
Yeah.
Just making sure I step where he steps.
Yeah. There's a lot of people disembarking, probably about maybe 250 people, and they're all of the extreme sports variety. There's a few families there, and then there's just a few people obviously doing shift work or come here to work for a few seasons. The actual place that you've touched down at is huge, and it's a sequence of domes outside of the just connected to the landing fields. The landing fields themselves have domes across, so they're open at the moment to allow ships to take off and land. These are all reinforced domes, so the ice just lands against them harmlessly. And even now, as you're walking across the ramp from the ship into the main area, it's cold. It's not. It's more like English winter cold. So yeah, you're probably hovering around 0 to 1 degree. There's plenty of snow around. It's like I say, it's kind of sickly. It's really weird. The snow that you're used to seeing is under bright lights and it's kind of gorgeous, but this just looks miserable. But people seem to be having fun. You can see people in the snow, people doing just old school snowboarding. You see the air riders in the air coming in. This is like wingsuits almost with miniature jet energy packs, and they're coming in low down crevasses. Yeah, it's and there's adverts everywhere, holographic adverts. Do this, do that. Jump off cliffs. Try not to die. Yeah, it seems like quite an exciting place, and probably around about 20,000 people come here every cycle. So yeah, it's extremely popular place. You're not the only ship that's just landed, and you can see people heading back onto ships to get back into orbit before the ice globe starts to form.
Yeah.
Keith turns back to the other two, and that looks fun. We should try that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go and do some tourism first.
Okay.
We're all about the tourism, aren't we, Link?
All about the tourism. Now, where's the rep we're supposed to meet?
Oh, yeah.
You get out. There's no baggage check because basically people take their own bags with them. The seats on the ship are absolutely huge. You actually tuck your bags down behind them, so there's no need for baggage checking or anything like that. So yeah, you've got your backs or you roll along suitcases or whatever you got with you. You walk out with everybody else, and the actual concourse itself is absolutely massive. It's kind of like Grand Central Station, but times 5. That's quite specific. And the massive the dome that's over it is see-through, so you can see the snow. There's even people snowboarding down the dome. You know what I mean? So it's it's extremely busy. And you go through arrivals. You'll show up your Stellar Pass, which basically is it's like basically like an intergalactic passport. You go through really easy. And then on the other side, there's quite a tall guy with a hook nose, bit of a mullet tied into a ponytail. He's got a sort of strange sort of snake tattoo going down his cheek, and he's holding up a holo sign, which is flashing around the edges with your 3 names on it.
Oh, Link, looks like Keith's with us.
That's great. Yeah.
Don't sound too happy.
It's just unfamiliar people, unfamiliar places, new and exciting ways to. Anyway, let's go and let's go and say hello to the man with the plan.
If you've got a problem with unfamiliar people, maybe tourism is not the best choice for vacations.
It's my first time.
Link, has this new boy earned the right to make such glib comments?
I'm not worried about glib comments. What is it they say? Words will never hurt me. I've seen things that will.
I must say, I like the look of this guy at the sign. He reminds me a lot of my brother. Very similar hairstyle. Ponytails are in, apparently.
Where?
Somewhere probably. I don't know. That's what I always tell him to make him feel better about himself.
Yeah.
Planet Hawkwind. So yeah, so this guy's looking around and he sees you 3. And he sort of steps forward, big smile on his face. Like I say, he's probably a good head taller than the tallest of you. He comes walking forward. Hi guys, I'm Johnny Wally. I've got your vehicle outside. You want to come out, get your bags inside, and we'll get you to the hotel. We should be there just in a couple of hours, yeah?
Radical.
Yeah, sweet. Come on, follow me.
Great. Sort of shoulder the bag and glance around. What's the gravity like on this place, by the way?
1.1, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, fairly normal. Yeah,
quite normal. Yeah.
Again,
another reason why it makes it a perfect destination for holiday goers. They don't have to worry about shifting gravity.
Yeah, it's good. So so yeah, sort of shoulder the bag and stretch the back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll follow him, looking around, just trying to be as casual as I can, but checking to see if anyone's paying undue attention to us as we're getting collected.
Okay, then. You pointed it out, so I'm going to ask you to make a subterfuge roll, please.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
D12 plus your subterfuge skill. Target number is 13.
Okay, my subterfuge is 11, so
Don't roll a 1 then, basically.
that's a 5, so a 16.
Shit, I was hoping to say a 1. So that's it now. The game's ruined. So
Broken.
now you have a
Brutal
look
mission,
around. It's a huge press of people from literally all over the sector, and from some people as well, obviously from different nations. I mean, you guys are in the coalition. Obviously, you went straight through passport, Stellar ports. They're there, Stellar pass control, no problem at all. And you can see long queues from people from, even people from the conglomerate, and from the union and from the capital states, and they're all basically just all queuing up to get in. But you guys are cool. Yeah, I'm from here. Boom, straight through. But there's nobody that's really standing out. Like I say, it's a massive mix of people.
Oh, I'm so glad our country stayed in the coalition link. It makes getting through passport control so easy.
Well, the coalition is quite a new nation. It's born in the stars, basically. It's not actually based on any earthbound
Oh,
nation.
lovely.
And it's basically lots of people from lots of different nations who basically went, do you know what? Actually, this is kind of shit. Let's try something new and let planets govern themselves under a central sort of government. So relatively new. I mean, it's only literally a couple of decades old. The coalition is. It seems to be working, but unfortunately, they get themselves wrapped up in bureaucracy and red tape nightmare because each planet does its own thing, and then they all come together to agree on doing their own things. And yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah,
But it's working.
it's functional.
Like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As long as there's no emergencies, it's functional.
No emergencies.
Yeah.
We'll be fine then. Yes. Yeah, I will happily follow, of course.
Johnny Wally takes you outside. As soon as you go out, you can feel the cold. It's a little bit cold. Obviously, got the heating on. You got the residual heat from the starship as you're walking on the gangway to get off it. But now you're outside proper. Yeah, it's below zero. It's going to get even colder once it gets dark in a few hours. Basically, it's one of those ones where if you breathe in through your nose, all the snot's going to freeze in at the back of your sinuses. It's that bad. So you need to be careful. Obviously, you've come prepared for this. You were supplied with cold weather clothing. He goes over to a hover vehicle, opens the back door, helps you put your bags in, and each door lifts up, slides upwards so you can all get in. And he climbs in the front and waits for you all to board.
Yeah, happy to do so.
After you, Keith.
Okay.
Thanks.
As you're all climbing in, he's going, yeah, we've got loads of decent stuff planned for you. We get you settled in, and we get you straight up to the old tubes and see how you do there. We've got a good 12 hours before the ice storm hits, so you can get some half piping in. Yeah, you should have a great time. And then as soon as the doors close and the engine sort of hovers up, the vehicle lifts up, there's snow blasting everywhere. And then he looks in the rear view mirror, and his voice just completely changes and drops down a couple of octaves. And he looks quite serious. We were expecting you yesterday.
I know it's. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Link and I were at the. Were ready. We were planning to get on our ship, but I thought I'd misplaced my bag, and I've been looking for it, and got turned around, and it turns out it was where I left it, but I was looking in the wrong place. It was a bit of an embarrassment, wasn't it, Link?
It was more of a struggle than we thought. So this tourism thing. How are we doing so far?
You're doing absolutely fine. Everything checked out. I mean, you're relatively new to this, so nobody's going to be looking at you. It's the familiar faces that people tend to look at, all the returners. But you're new here and fresh faced, and the chances are you'll pass through the scanners no problem. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you outside of town. It's a 4-hour drive. I'm going to take you to a valley. That's where I'm going to let you out. Then you head down that valley on your own. I'm going to hang on to your bags because all the equipment that you're going to need is in the station. You head down, you follow this valley down. It's about a 2-hour walk. You just make sure you stay on the valley floor. You walk in a straight line. When you get to the end, you'll get to the station. You can't miss it. I'm going to carry on to the hotel. I'm going to drop your bags off. I am going to get you all checked in, and then your bags will sit in your rooms for the next 6 months until you're ready to leave. Got it?
Yeah.
When you're ready to leave, I'll come and get you, take you to the hotel, you pick your bags up, you check out. Everything's above board, all the paperwork's done. I've got you registered on some activities. You're going to show up on paper. So as far as everybody here is concerned, as far as the government of Ice Moon Zulu 31 is concerned, you're here enjoying the many pleasures that this moon can offer.
Yeah. It sounds good. Or what we could do is you could drop our bags off at the station and we could go and stay in the hotel for 6 months and actually enjoy the pleasures of the Ice Moon.
Well, you've got plenty of time to back out of the mission if that's what you want to do.
No, I'm just yanking a chain.
Yeah, me too.
Great. Yeah, I just can't shake the feeling that my luggage is going to have more fun than I am. Right. I'm sure we can follow the instructions to walk in a straight line.
It's literally the valley where you're going to be. It's quite shallow, and you just stay at the bottom and just follow it. There's no deviations. There's nowhere else you can walk. Just don't go up the sides. And then when you get to the end of it, you can't miss it. The door will be in front of you. You'll see the hill. You go in. It's done. All you're going to do is just stay out of the way of the snow spiders. You'll be absolutely fine. Unfortunately, there's no other way to get there by vehicle because if we are being watched, it's that station is abandoned now, allegedly. Any vehicle approaching it, yeah, it's going to look suspicious. So I'm going to drop you off. You're going to have to walk it.
Okay. The valley, how high are the sides, you reckon?
100 meters each side, shallow enough to climb up, but not dangerous for any kind of snow slide. But yeah, the good thing about it is that it used to be an access. It was a dugout access path to get to the old station. Now it serves its purpose, just to basically help guide new people to the listening post.
Okay.
You say we're following the valley down. Is it steep enough that we could snowboard down?
Well, if you can do it, I've got the kit in the back. If you want to give it a shot.
Keith looks over to the other two. Any experience?
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to give anything a try once.
It might save us some time if it don't work. I'm sure we can carry on foot.
Yeah, why not?
I'm up for it. I've never heard about these spiders before. This is new news to me.
They're quite rare. They're snow spiders. You don't see many of them, but they are large, and they tend to hide under the snow. And you'll see the snow shimmer, and then they'll just come out and try and grab you and pull you under the snow. Well, they'll just tear off all your clothes, allow you to freeze, and then basically just nibble on you for a little while.
That sounds like an ex of mine.
Yeah. So they're big enough to actually like grab and hold on to a person.
Yeah, they're about the size of this vehicle. So they're
Okay. So when you said quite large, what you meant was more than that.
Yeah, I said quite large. Yeah, you're right. What I actually meant was really fucking big. So yeah.
Because when you said quite large, I was thinking, oh, the size of a dinner plate.
Oh, we've got them as well.
Oh, good.
But we keep them as pets. So yeah, just need to be careful. So the actual journey on foot will take about 2 hours to get to the station. By the time I've dropped you off, you've got to be there within 4 hours. You don't want to be outside when the ice starts falling.
Okay, yeah.
Now I'm going to drop you off. I'll head up to the hotel, and then 48 hours later, I'm going to return to the same spot to pick up the people that you're replacing.
Okay.
Understood.
Right?
48 hours later.
48 hours.
Other side of the storm.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wonderful. These guys, do we need to pass on any messages, anything, or they know what to do?
They know what to do. In fact, they'll be doing the handover. So for the next 48 hours, they'll be basically telling you guys what you need to be doing whilst you're at the station during your tour.
Cool. Wow. Thanks, Johnny. We appreciate you.
Thanks. Weird, but thanks. So yeah, so he's basically, as he's explaining all this, he's blasting through the snow on a one engine open sled, and it's basically it's pretty quick. It takes probably about 20 30 minutes to finally get out of town out for the bustling traffic. It's quite a lot of traffic as well, surprisingly. Lots of air vehicles heading out or bringing people back. It's only about another 6-7 hours until the ice storm starts. So you see a lot of returning vehicles and hovercraft and all sorts. You finally get past the small lower domes, and then you're out into the open proper. They haven't really got roads. You know the guidance rods which they have at the Arctic stations, so you can see where you're going. Basically, they basically got those in the ground. So as long as they're to your left, that's it. You're technically on a road. And yeah, he follows that for the next couple of hours. After a little while, he slows down to what appears to be another flat, featureless area, but apparently this is the place. And then, but just off to your left, you can see it dips down slightly, and there seems to be a weird crevasse, which is obviously the valley, heading off into the distance.
Okay.
He settles the vehicle down. He waits for a second. He's looking at a scanner. It's showing the traffic around the area, but there's nothing within 10 miles, or 10 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
He seems satisfied with that, and he opens up the vehicle doors.
All right. We want to take some snowboarding stuff and see if we can do it.
We'll give it a shot.
Got to be worth a go.
Yeah. The boards are to the left there. Take the older ones because, they're less expensive. And if you break them, I don't care. So, yeah, help yourselves to whatever you need.
All right. I'll grab one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get him one.
Cheers, man. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yep.
One of the old ones, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
They look like just normal snowboards, but the ends have got like rudders on them, and if you twitch your toes or move your legs, they move really, really slightly. It helps to catch the snow. I don't know how snowboards work. I just thought that'd sound cool. So and science fictiony. So you can really get some serious twists and turns out of it, and actually do stunts without the need for a ramp. So they seem quite popular. So yeah, you don't need special boots either. When you put your feet on the clamps, they come up automatically and adjust to the size of your feet automatically. So it's quite handy. So Johnny Wally sort of gets them out, hands them out. You're there in your clothes. You got your pulse pistols and everything. He makes sure all your bags are all secure. He closes all his doors. Right, good luck. I'll be back in 40 hours, pick up the other people, and I'll see you three in 6 months.
Presumably after the next crew comes to get us.
Yeah, that's the way it works. We have a turnaround every 3 months, so you're only replacing 3 people of the entire crew. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, then yeah, have a nice flight to the hotel.
And have a safe journey, and don't take any risks on these things.
It's all right. We're risk averse.
That's what I said about your mate in the last mission. So, so yeah, he gets back in
too
the
soon.
hover vehicle. So,
Too soon.
sorry, his poor wife, fiance. So he gets into the back of the hover vehicle, and with a flurry of snow, he disappears off. Above you, it looks a bit weird. The actual snow globe is starting to form. At this point, within about 3 to 4 hours to go, they'll stop all starship traffic. And if you look up into the sky now, it's almost like being on the inside of a snow globe. So you're looking up, you can see what looks like shifting glass in the high atmosphere as the actual moon's atmosphere starts to freeze. It's really peculiar sight.
Sorry, did something happen to your friend on the last mission as well?
Yeah, well, there was a skateboarding accident.
Yeah, he loved skateboarding.
He did like
He would have
skateboarding.
loved it here, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that and snowboarding were basically his two favourite things.
That's all he ever talked
Yeah.
about.
Two people that you know have recently suffered skateboarding accidents.
I know
It seems
there's the other one as well. Link, you remember?
It's not just two.
Oh.
right.
Skateboarding is more dangerous than people give it credit for.
Okay.
You're on the wrong moon, Keith.
I can imagine. No snowboarding accidents though, right? So far.
Not that we're aware of.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be able to do some skateboarding around the station when we get there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. And if you're going to try snowboarding for the first time, because it's new to me, then my understanding is that the best place to learn is at the bottom of a frozen valley, surrounded by sharp rocks, traveling at ridiculous speeds, over terrain that could at any moment erupt like a landmine to reveal a spider the size of a house. That is, frankly, the best way to learn.
It keeps you on your toes.
I think having a time limit that you have to get there by before you're certainly killed by
Falling
ice is helps you learn quickly. Link.
Oh, because it's the mind.
It does. I think.
Yeah.
This is good. I'm looking forward to this little trip.
What were they thinking when they first came to this moon? Did they just look around the place, watched all the falling ice come down, skewering snow spiders by the thousands across a blooded landscape, and think, do you know what? Fucking snowboarding. Brilliant. Here we go.
I could
Somebody
live
called
in
Thomas
a place
Cook.
like this.
I think that is the usual snowboarder's point of view, to be honest.
What? Falling ice and giant spiders.
Yeah, the worse the better for them.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to snowboard down, then I am going to ask you to make agility rolls.
Yeah,
I'm also going to need to ask you what your order is. Who's going first?
Keith?
It's tradition that our new snowboarding friend leads the way.
Well, it was your suggestion. I think you should set off first, and we'll follow you.
Is that why there's so many skateboarding accidents? The two of you have never actually skateboarded.
Oh, this is snowboarding, totally different. Don't worry about it, Keith.
Completely different skill.
Yeah, come on, two different things. You'll be fine.
I get it. Hayes the new guy. Fine. I'll see you at the bottom.
So I'm going to ask you to make an agility roll. So a D12 plus your agility score, and difficulty is going to be 13.
Okay.
That is a 7 on the dice plus my agility is my 11.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh, he's cocky.
18.
So you go off. You do like a double backflip. You do a bit of a kick 180, and then oh my god, man! There's all these snow spiders with scorecards going fucking 10 all down the side. Yeah. No, you take off, no trouble at all. So no, you're fine. And you skate off. At the moment, it's getting a little bit darker, and at the moment, visibility is probably around about 50, 60 meters. So you can. There's plenty of. You've got plenty of vision. It literally is as the guy described it. It's just featureless white snow. It's not very deep, probably just over ankle deep. and it goes up 100 meters around about each side, and it's very equal, so it's obviously not natural valley, and it's dead easy. And it's a nice gentle slope as well, but you can get up a good head of speed if you go for it.
Oh,
Who's
yeah,
next?
I'll have a go.
He makes
Go
it look
for
so easy, Link. So easy.
Yeah, well, given that we now know that this is something that we can all do easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just go after him. Come on.
Bet you on.
Okay, I rolled a 9,
What's your agility?
7, so
Oh, brilliant.
16.
Oh.
To 16, yeah. So you hop on the board, the leg clamps snap around your ankles, and as you're sort of going along, maneuvering your feet, and it's keeping you online, and you pick up a good head of speed. So you do absolutely fine. And that leaves.
Well, in
Good
for a
old
penny,
Mark.
in for a penny, in for a pound. There we go. It's a 4,
What's your agility?
9, so that is 13.
13 dead on.
Ooh.
Oh, fun. I'm not the best at this.
You get a little bit of a shaky start. He didn't fall over and look like a knob, but you get off a bit of a shaky start. Those guys have taken off quite quickly, seem to be knowing what they're doing. You're a little bit more sort of tentative, but you're not falling over, and you're moving at a fair speed, so that's no problem at all. It does mean that you're a little bit behind the two of them on your own.
Oh.
Sorry, on your own. So you head off down the valley. How wide is my valley in this case? Because as you're heading down, there's a little bit of snowfall starts. Visibility again starts to reduce slowly as it gets a little bit darker.
Are we able to communicate on like a closed channel to each other?
Yeah.
Then I will call out. Just keep an eye if you see anything overlooking us from the sides of the valley. Okay.
Yeah.
No surprises.
In that case, then make a perception roll. So if you roll your D12, add your extra perception skill.
Okie dokie. That is not so good. That's a 6 + 6, 12.
Okay. You don't see anything, but then to be fair, the actual visibility is starting to get a little bit reduced. And it's like I say, it's about 100 meters up the sides of the valley, and now you're probably down to about 40 or 50 meters. It's not great. The only reason why heading in the right direction is one, because you're at the base of the valley, and you're also following Keith's tracks in the snow.
Yeah.
But you're making good headway. So, but you don't see anything untoward. Now, what was originally going to be a 2-hour walk is now going to be a half-hour snowboard ride.
Oh, cool.
So you're going to get there in plenty of time. Just go blasting through the snow. According to your timepieces, it's 2.5 hours until the ice storm starts.
Hey,
Well, I'm going to add. So go on.
Hey Keith, where did you learn to ride like this? It's sweet, man.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've never snowboarded before in my life.
I like the cut of his jib, Link. He's like a duck to water.
I can't really make out his jib. The visibility's not that great, but yeah, I think he's fitting in nicely into the crew.
Wait till we get inside in the warm, and I'll show you my jib if you want.
Oh yeah, I'd appreciate it. It's always good to know these things about each other.
He's going to fit right in, yeah. So, actually, that's probably a bad choice of words, to be fair. But yeah, you're making really, really good time as you're blasting through. But then suddenly, Keith, I need you to make an agility roll, please.
Oh, this is bad.
Oh, this is bad.
Uh-oh. As you're blasting through the snow, and you've been doing this now for probably about 20-25 minutes, so you're probably the better part of 10 minutes away from the station, and everything's quite featureless, and then suddenly looming out of the gloom in front of you, because the visibility is down now to about 30-35 meters. It's not a spider, but whatever it is, it's big, and it's jammed into the snow. It's actually created a small crater, and it literally comes looming out of the snow all of a sudden, and sadly you don't maneuver fast enough and you slam straight into it. There's a massive metallic gong as you go smacking into it. I'm going to ask you to make a strength test, please.
Okay. That's a 7 on the dice. My strength is 8, so that's 15.
Okay, you are going to take 1 point of damage. You're not going to take 1d6. You're quite a tough guy, and the thickness of your coat helps as well. Are you wearing any armor? We never actually went over equipment, did we? No, we didn't. Hold on just 1 second. Your standard equipment is a communicator.
Yeah.
A medical pack.
Yeah.
A pulse pistol.
Pew, pew.
Yeah.
And a choice of armor up to armored suit. But in this particular case, you get a flak vest, which gives you D4 protection.
Wonderful.
So basically, if you ever take a hit, you roll the D4 and then you reduce the damage taken by that amount. And you can do that now if you want to.
Wonderful. That is a 9 on the dice, so that's a 3.
Okay,
right?
So that's more than enough then. Yeah. So it hurts. You're probably going to have a bit of a bruise. It's a little bit winded. It sort of sent you off your snowboard and slammed you into the snow. But yeah, you hear this sound, Ben, in the distance. Honestly, you can hear the and then suddenly boom, like a massive impact and a thud. And then the same thing looms out the gloom in front of you. So can you make an agility roll as well, please?
I can make an agility roll.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit easier for you. So the difficulty is only going to be 10.
That's a good job because I rolled a 5, so that's a total of 12.
Brilliant. So yeah, you hear the thud. Obviously, there's something wrong. That makes you a little bit wary even. So you sort of start to go a little bit sideways, and then this image, this whatever it is, it looks like something slammed into the snow has created a bit of a crater.
But I managed to stop in front of it or avoid it.
Yeah, you stop in front of it.
Okay, stop in front
Well,
of it.
it's up to you. Do you want to go around it or do you stop in front of it? You can also see Keith lying in the snow.
If it's okay, I want to try and go round it and stop immediately the other side of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
And as I do, I'd like to call out, Keith's down. He boarded into something. Watch yourself.
I had a skateboarding accident.
You bastard.
Happens a lot.
Luke, you don't need to make a roll. You've been given the heads up.
Thanks, guys.
You immediately start to slow. And it's a large metallic object, like a massive giant teardrop with the pointy bits locked off. And it's an escape pod.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, this is unexpected, Link. Normally, our new colleagues die on their first boarding accident.
This is shocking in a number of ways. Normally, not only does the first skateboarding accident normally result in a fatality, but also normally we're finishing up our adventure by racing to an escape pod, and it seems we found one early.
I wanted to take away the option.
Does it have like a way to look inside of it?
To be honest with you, the actual door, the escape hatch is actually open.
Oh.
It looks like it blew off as it's supposed to. It looks like just a normal door, like off an Apollo capsule.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously after the impact, it's blown off. And that's lying probably about 20 feet away, already covered in snow. In fact, it looks like it's been here for a little while because it's already covered in a thin layer of snow. On the inside, you see 2 seats basically facing each other on either side. Empty.
Wow. Link, you know what this means? If there's another one of these at the station and things get bad, we're going to have to leave Keith behind.
Yes.
You know, if you whisper, this is still an open channel.
No,
Yes,
this is a really old escape pod. This is a one-use escape pod. Obviously, it's had its use. It doesn't use a parachute. It uses braking thrusters before impact. So it's a little bit uncomfortable, but at least you won't die.
Yeah.
But now that it's down, until it's recovered, this ain't going anywhere.
Is it empty of people and things?
Empty of people and things.
I'm going to complete my lap of it, if that makes sense. Walk all the way round.
Yeah.
And because I'm round the other side, can I check to see if there's any indication of tracks leading away from it as I go round?
No, by the looks of it, like I said, that fresh layer of snow has covered any tracks.
And the frost will have built up like a hoarfrost as well, won't it? Like from humidity in the atmosphere, so it won't necessarily leave like marks on an underside or something like that we can see.
No, in fact, the only marks that should be on the pod would be the name of the ship that it's come from. By the looks of it, that's been lasered off.
Well, that's encouraging. All right. Okay, then. How high is the top of it above my head, so to speak, or is it?
The whole thing in total is probably about 3 meters high.
Okay.
I mean, you can get to it. Like I say, it hit the side of the valley, so you can walk up the side of it a little bit and get to the top that way.
Okay, then I will do so, please.
Yeah.
And what I'm looking for is any indication of whether it's been hit by giant falling sheets of ice.
No.
Okay, then I will report back to the others that, as far as I can tell, guys, this hasn't been out here for a storm cycle.
So this is
Makes sense.
24 hours max.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be occupied, but whoever landed in it is new to the planet.
Well, if they're here, I guess 24 hours in this, they could be miles away by now. If they'd flown over and they'd seen anything, they might be heading the way we're going. That is the closest. What, we're 10 minutes away by board, so it's less than an hour away walking.
Yeah, we're covering ground fairly quickly, though. I mean, there's a chance we'd catch them.
Well, let's shall we jump back on the boards, keep going? Keith, you okay? Nothing broken, no problems?
No, I'm okay. I think I'm all right. Maybe that's enough of a hazing though, and somebody else fancies taking the lead for a little bit.
Yeah, all right. My turn.
Okay.
It's getting dark, guys. Let's
You've probably got about an hour and a half
yeah, let's fair.
before you need to be inside. So,
Okay.
So Ben, you take the lead.
Yep.
Don't worry about making another roll. You know what you're doing now.
Okay.
So yeah, and you start following the valley, and yeah, about 10 to 15 minutes later, ahead of you, the valley starts to flatten out a little bit, and then you start to see the gloom above you, probably about 40, 50 meters. You see the hill or the mound that the station's supposed to be on. Yeah, it's quite large. And then ahead of you as well, you can see small lights, like small yellow lights in the gloom. It's getting really dark now. So that's probably about 50, 60 meters ahead. The snowfall is getting a little bit thicker. It's whipping up a little bit of a wind. It's not blizzard conditions, but it's enough to reduce visibility.
All right. Is there a sort of obvious route up to the entrance? Is there literally like an entrance door facing us as we arrive?
Yeah. You literally just walk. If you just keep going, the door will be right in front of you.
Okay.
You can bring the map up actually, if that's all right.
Oh, I can. Where would you like me to? What
Ooh.
part of the base would you
Well,
like me
you
to bring
guys
it
have
up on?
already been issued sort of a plan layout. It's a standard laboratory layout, so that you can get yourselves sort of orientated with it. So
Okay.
yeah, just put the whole thing up.
Cool.
Show you where you'll access.
Wonderful.
So that's it. Stop right there.
Shot there.
Actually,
Perfect.
yeah,
There we go. Job's a good one.
perfect.
There we go.
So that's what you're looking at now. The perimeter catwalk and everything. That is the main door. That semicircular door at the top is basically a huge blast door. The bar behind it pushes it out and pulls it in, and it's that big as well. So it acts like a huge snow shovel. So that if it does build up with lots of snow, that'll literally just push everything out of the way.
Okay.
Oh, smart.
At the moment, it's partially open. It looks like it's pushed out by about 3 meters, and you can see light coming out either side. It's lit up on the inside. There's light coming out either side, and above it, there's those 2 yellow lights, each one sort of flashing on and off, almost like a train signal.
Mm.
Yellow lights, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will hop off the snowboard and tuck it under my arm.
Yep.
And once the others are with me, once they slide up to behind me,
Yep.
I'll sort of nod towards. We've got to pick a side, basically, haven't we? But I'll nod towards the one to the, I guess, east on this orientation,
Yep.
and say, "We going in through the blast door?"
You know, looking at it from here, I can't help but think that those hotel rooms are sounding more welcoming.
They do sound nice. Also, they've got our luggage.
I hope they've got jumpsuits or whatever in our size. I don't want it to be tight under the armpits and short on the ankles.
Yeah.
Again.
The chafing. The talcum powder I get through.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm just conscious of the time, because if we have to walk our way all the way back along the valley, then that end lies instant death, and we won't even make it before instant death.
It's about an hour now until the ice storm starts, and if you turn around, you're heading back uphill. Yeah, it's going to be about a 2 to 3 hour walk.
This is the only option then, guys, I think.
Is it? Oh no. So
Funny that.
as you're heading towards, you said you were going to the eastern one, yeah?
Yeah, if that's okay.
So looking at the picture where I'm sat on the right hand side.
Yep.
So you start heading towards that, and then you see something in the snow just outside the door. I say it's a little bit gloomy. As you get closer, you can see it's a body lying face down.
Okay. Guys, this is not wildly encouraging. Can I check to see if the body is cold?
Oh, really cold. And by the looks of it, they're dressed in sort of very casual clothes. I mean, official sort of shirt and what have you. They obviously work on the station. And by the looks of it, they had their cold weather coats half on, so they had one arm through. As you sort of get closer, they're sort of lying face down, or you can see they're sort of buried halfway in the snow. So their faces planted down. You can just see a mop of frozen hair, and they're literally just splayed out. As you go down, I say, are you physically touching the body?
Yeah, just grabbing the coat, if you see what I mean, in order to to find out if it's still warm.
Okay, it's definitely not warm. In fact, the skin itself is probably frozen solid, so it's been out here for a while. And as you do pull the coat back, it reveals, and the snow falls away. There's 3 shots. There's 3 holes in the back of the person, burnt holes, like almost like from plasma fire. That's by the looks of it, they got shot in the back. And they're quite well placed as well. They're grouped right over the heart.
Uh-huh. The do they look plausibly like sort of pulse pistol shots, something of that nature?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. The head facing towards the entrance or away from it?
No, it's lying. The head is away, so the feet are close to the entrance, and the head is lying away.
And they're lying face down.
Yeah.
Okay. So, having spotted all this, I'm going to sort of say to the others quietly, it looks like he was killed trying to run out, pulling his clothing on, right?
Yeah.
So our place of safety is
Yeah.
turning out to be more of a skateboarding accident waiting to happen.
It's don't look great. If he was on running, why was he running? What was he running from? What was he running with? Hieronymus wants to see if he's got anything in his pockets or something that he can start patting him down for.
No, actually. By the looks of it, when you pass him down, looking at he's pulled on quite hastily the lower sort of galoshes as well. And by the looks of it, underneath the clothing underneath, it looks like he's wearing sleepwear. He's got the shirt on, but by the looks of it, his shorts almost look like pajama bottoms. His boots aren't suited for this either. He hasn't got any kind of cold weather boots. This is just normal sneakers.
Something made him go quick. Something made him run very quickly.
And bear in mind, there was no vehicle that could get to him. So he left here knowing he was probably not well enough covered in equipment to get it all the way up the valley. So what he was afraid of made him run out to more or less certain death, even if he didn't get shot.
The action of a desperate man.
Yeah,
Nice.
he was scared of something.
Now, if we're going into here, is it worth covering up, running out of time, but is it worth covering up the body a little bit and pretending we haven't seen him? Or do we go in blasé and say something or not say something?
Or how about we just pick the other entrance?
Oh no.
Because we wouldn't have seen him if we come in the other way.
Makes sense, man. Makes sense. That's why you're known as the smart one.
Right. Okay. So what that means is presumably we're not going to draw our weapons at this point, and we're just going to make like we didn't see anything suspicious, yeah?
Yeah. I can work with that.
All right. Okay. Given that we're wearing, sort of winter clothing, I'm going to tuck the pulse pistol in the sort of pocket of the parka that I'm wearing, and tuck my hands in my pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them will in fact be holding onto the weapon, even if it's not drawn yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I will nod to Keith and say, "After you."
Keith will he'll roll the body back onto its, so it's orientating in the same direction first.
Yeah.
And then actually before we go in, did we get any information about the people we're picking up? Are we able to identify this person?
No, it's a secret listening base, so the information was need to know. And you'll know them when you met them. You'll be introduced to them. You're the only 3 people turning up to replace these people.
Yeah.
So no, you don't know anything about anybody on the station. The fact is, the listening station. Well, it's obvious the listening station shouldn't be there. It's right on conglomerate border. If the conglomerate knew that they were being spied on, it's going to create all sorts of problems. So yeah, this is trying to keep it as secret as possible.
Do we have, by the way, any method of securely contacting Johnny Wally?
No.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He's no Wally, is he?
It does worry me that he's, out there completely failing to understand that things could be going very badly wrong.
And he's got 3 hotel rooms to choose from tonight.
Well, at least 3. He may have one for himself.
He strikes me as
And
a
all those
middleman.
snacks that he tried to get through customs.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, another quick question. The doors as they stand, big enough. I know we haven't seen a spider, but given the description, big enough to fit through or not?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Keith will nod slowly. Keep that quiet to himself for a while. That thought. After me, then, I suppose.
So you go around the other side, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, if everyone's happy to do that.
Yep. You head in. Yeah, I mean, it's quite well lit in here, but it appears to be mainly emergency lighting. The massive strip lights on the ceiling are off. The larger disc lights are turned on. There's a couple of hovering lights as well, which are slowly making their way up and down the perimeter catwalk. Just little basically hovering globes of light, which are supposed to have people walking about. As you go in, you see the door mechanism, which is the big circular thing in the middle with 4 points. That's a little bit covered in snow because basically this door's been open for a while by the looks of it, because the snow's been drifting into here quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so the air is still really, really cold. The only way to get up to the perimeter catwalk is the two. I don't know what the shape's called, but the two big octagonal, is it? Octagons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hexagons, possibly.
Hexagons. Anyway, yeah. The pentagons with the extra side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the two of
Side
those.
of
Yeah.
Pentagons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pentagon Plus. Basically, they're like sort of rampways to get up to the perimeter catwalk with the railing.
Got ya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, since we're on the left side, I'm going to I'm just slightly concerned that we should try to keep radio communication to a minimum. So I'm going to tap the other 2 on the shoulders and point to the ramp up, and then begin climbing it. But I'm going to be really cautious, really careful.
Yep. Okay.
Keeping my eye out for any movement in front of us.
All the doors to any corridors or rooms leading out are all closed. Maybe it's a security thing. If the temperature drops, you don't want the whole place freezing.
Right.
When you get to the top, those 4 circles, they're just like to be old storage drums for waste and just recycling and what have you, whatever they use them for. But you'll see there's a seat on the top left with TS written in front of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That seems to be like a monitoring station for the door. Quite an old one. It's very analog, very clunky switches and old CRT screens. And there's somebody sat in the chair. The entire place itself is covered in like a frosty sheen. So obviously it's been freezing in here for quite a while.
Yep.
And that person is sat in that chair with a frosty sheen. Dressed in cold weather gear.
Does it look like the same brand and uniform nature as the guy outside?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to, again, tap the other guys on the shoulder and point in that direction, and then sort of point 2 fingers that way and start walking carefully around towards him.
Yep. As you get closer, you can see he's slightly slumped forward. The arms are hanging down the side of the chair. And you see quite a large hole in the back of the head, with cauterized wound around it. And look like somebody shot him in the back of the head. In front of him, the computer is still working, and it's basically just the door controls. It's by the looks of it, there's a knob that you turn, and it basically pushes the door out. And the door was being opened, and the actual screen is flashing basically giving warning signs about the fact that the door's open. The temperature's plummeting. It's going to have to seal the room. Would you like to terminate the process? And obviously, he's not pressed Y or N.
Do we close this down?
What's your call?
I vote. There's 3 of us. I vote yes. Keith?
I vote yes.
Yes, it is.
You're going to close the door?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, you press Y. The system takes over. The large circle thing in the middle starts to rotate slowly, pulling these huge, thick bar and cables, and the door slowly retracts quite noisily. And then when it slams into position and the vacuum locks take hold, it's like a and it echoes all around the room.
Okay. All right.
Home sweet home, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Keith will draw his pulse pistol. I mean, I suppose there's no point in claiming we haven't seen any bodies now.
There isn't.
I didn't think of that at the time, it must be said.
Yeah.
2 down.
By the feels of it, the heaters have come on. Now that the door's sealed, it's trying to balance the temperature. And you can see lights appear above, like there's like a dozen heaters, or at least vents for the heaters all around the room. And all the green lights come on, flicker on one at a time.
Nice. I can
Okay.
feel my toes, starting to feel my toes for the first time in hours. Yeah. Question is, where to from here?
Well, we can't stay in this room for 6 months, and we still need to find anyone who's part of our supposed crew.
Shall I here you go. I'll pull out my badly folded map I've got in my supply. Shall I have a look around and see what route we want to take?
Yeah. Okay. Good idea.
Right. So everyone of us will get a gloved finger and clumsily sort of point basically in the middle of this space. So we're here, right? This is where we are.
Yeah.
As you can see, to the left. Oh, there's an arboretum. There's meds, freshers, not too much that way. And then robotics and drones to the far right. We go to the left, it's offices. That feels like a more sensible place to start. The whole place is it's like a big old square with a one-way in, one-way out central hub. So it's left or right, really. We're either going past the arboretum, or we're going through the offices. What do you fancy?
I'm tempted to say offices first, just because we might get more information there, I guess.
Don't get to stop and smell the flowers, as it were, there.
True, and the arboretum might actually give us more information anyway.
It's a square. Wherever we go to, we'll get back the other way eventually.
You optimist.
Yeah.
He didn't. And points to the guy sat at the terminal.
Yeah, well, that kind of injury is caused by getting hit in the back of the head by a skateboarder, if I've ever seen one.
A very high velocity.
Very high velocity skateboard.
To be honest, it might be a problem that's taken care of itself. It might be the guy that's outside that shot him and someone else.
No, that's the exact opposite of a problem that's taken care of itself. One of them shot in the back, the other one shot in the back of the head. Even I can do that maths. This was not the outcome of a duel.
No, but maybe the guy that's out there shot this guy in the back of the head at least. Maybe it's only one guy with a gun we're looking for and not, I don't know, 12, 13.
Or maybe there's 14. Yes, it could be.
Have you not read subsection 32 of the new conglomerate Jaws procedure?
Link, check out the nerd here.
I basically only read skateboarding magazines.
Well, back to back duels. It's going to be the next big thing. I tell you, you heard it here first.
That's going to be my next supplement. Supplement 6, shooting each other in the face.
Please do a dueling supplement. That'd be perfect.
Okay, well, I'm actually happy either way. I'd like to see the Arboretum, and it might give us a clue because it's the kind of place someone would go and hide, if that makes sense.
Let's go touch grass.
But I can see the wisdom of going to the office as well.
Keith, you're new to the posse. Why don't you make the first decision? Where are we going?
Let's go to the Arboretum.
Oh, he's doing well, isn't he, Link? He's doing well.
He's not dead yet, so.
Exactly. Must be it's a new record for one of our posses.
Shit. I shouldn't have said yet.
Effectively well, in fact. Yeah.
I mean, that's what you wanted, right? I made a decision.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just like you're kind of rubbing it in our noses that we didn't keep your predecessor alive. It's just, it's not you, it's us.
Yeah, you're rubbing it in their noses, even though they've talked about it every 5 freaking minutes. It's your fault, new guy.
It hasn't come up, honestly.
Okay, so if you want to scroll the map over a little bit, then head towards the Arboretum.
Next section. There we go.
Place. Yeah, you get over to the door. Door's sealed. As the heat sort of rises, yeah, you can fit even with the cold weather gear on. You can feel it. When the door opens, it slides upwards, and looking out into the corridor again, the main lights are turned on, and only the emergency lights are turned on. There's the globes that are going up and down the perimeter walk are now floated up behind you, and are now following you. They're just basically just glow globes. They literally will follow if they think there's somebody there. There's a problem with the lighting, they'll automatically activate and then just follow around the nearest person. So you got these 2 football-sized glow globes floating behind you at the moment.
Okay, that seems like a terrible idea to me. It essentially means stealth is not our friend right now, right?
Oh, you'll be lit up like a Christmas tree everywhere you go. Yeah, you can deactivate them. It's not a problem. There's literally a button on the underside, like a fire alarm test button. You hold your finger on it for 5 seconds, and then it'll float off to somewhere else.
Okay. We can't steer it to where we'd like it to be and illuminate.
No, these are automatic.
Okay. What happens if you push them physically?
Oh, they'll just float off in the direction that you pushed them.
Okay. If we're opening the door through to that long corridor,
yeah,
can I literally grab one of the globes and try and push it all the way down the corridor to the other end?
Yeah, sure. It's quite easy. Yeah, you just basically put your hand on it. Again, it's like the size of a football. You just give it a good hearty shove, and it'll go off the direction it's been told to go.
Okay, so I will watch it glide its way down the corridor.
Yeah.
And see if it illuminates anything of interest.
Everybody make a perception roll, please.
Yes.
Our new perception stats. Oh, Ewan. breaking the game one roll at a time.
Hey.
First 12.
Well done.
8 plus 6, 14.
Right, to be
14.
fair, I've hit a 9. 9 plus 6 is 15.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
we've completely ruined this, haven't we?
Yeah, we're so
There we go.
perceptive, bro. He's never coming back, is he?
As the glowy bally thing, as the glowy ball goes past the doors, the double doors to the arboretum, those double doors are like almost like French doors, big glass things.
Mhm.
As it goes past, it illuminates the arboretum. You can see bits of green and different colours in there for the plants that are in there. But then you also see a shadow move away from the door quickly, as if it doesn't want to be seen. And I think that's where we'll take a bit of a short break, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Mate.
Yeah.
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 Good time. I like it.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes. A short break.
Should we say 10 minutes?
That sounds perfect.
And then we'll come back and then do another 20, 30 minutes. If that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
That sounds brilliant. Thank you, John.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Right,
See
we're
you
going
in
to
a
take a
bit
break. Don't go anywhere, anyone. We're back in a sec.
See you soon.
So you see the shadow. It bounces across the glass as the glow ball drifts past it. And obviously, it moves away from the glass very, very quickly. So, yeah.
So this is the other side of the glass doors inside the Arboretum.
Inside the Arboretum, yeah.
So what do we think? Someone hiding from a killer or a killer hiding from us?
I'm glad it wasn't just me that saw that.
Feels like your gut instinct was right, Link. This is the way to go. It may be someone hiding from a killer, but I think I'm going to follow Keith's lead and keep my pistol to hand just in case.
Okay, good plan. Draws weapon and checks to make sure it's ready to go. The touch of a trigger. And so, looking at the layout, if we can
the plants on the outside of the Arboretum that you see in the hallway and those little semicircles, they're completely artificial. They're just there like to say, oh, here's the Arboretum. And it's even got the old-fashioned sign above the Arboretum door, sort of like a wireframe sign saying Arboretum. They've tried to make it look like, I don't know, almost like it's a park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's quite cleverly done.
I mean, it's just looking at the angle. I think we can probably make it to that little corridor to the right.
Yeah.
Sort of in line with the right-hand side of the Arboretum.
Wherever you lead, mate, I will follow.
About that leading thing.
After me.
He's learning. He's learning, Nick. He's learning.
Excuse me. So who's going first if you're moving forward?
Keith, I don't mind.
You're okay.
It's tradition at by this point. Yeah. Keith will look at the two of them. Just cover me. That's what they say, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what they say. All right. If he's going for that corridor, and then he can obviously hide behind the corner, hopefully. Can I sort of angle myself at the right-hand side, so the top of the corridor running left to right?
Yeah. Around about. God, I don't know why I'm pointing. You can't see it. So, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, where the first semicircle is of the plants. Near there.
Not that far down yet.
Yeah.
Sort of, but along that wall.
Yeah.
And I'll keep the gun trained by the along that front. So hopefully, he won't cross my line of fire, but I'll have a line of fire if something suddenly bursts out of the doors.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I understand.
Speaking of which, I know all the doors previously were sort of closed when the door was closed. Are the doors that are in the immediate vicinity?
Every single door is closed.
Cool. Okay. On 3.
Okay.
Both of you make subterfuge rolls, please.
Okay.
It's going to be an opposed roll, and the number you need to beat is 8.
Okay.
You need to beat an 8.
8, both of you, yeah.
Okay.
It's an opposed roll.
That's going to be tough with my subterfuge of 11.
Oh, no.
I rolled an 8.
Oh, there we go.
My subterfuge is 6.
Ironically, I rolled a 1, so that's 12.
Did I tell you about my don't roll a 1 rule? No, it's fine.
Beautiful. Oh, the mighty have fallen.
You both move forward. The shadows move back away from the door. The door itself is quite clear glass, and you see the actual back of the glass is moisture, so obviously it must be quite warm in there. You get up to the side, you get up to the edge of the. You're along the wall. You get into that corridor opposite Ewan. Luke, what are you doing?
I'm willing to sort of follow along with them. You're along the wall to the Arboretum, aren't you? Now the question is, now I'll follow them for now. For now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. You don't see any other movements in the Arboretum. But I will ask one of you to roll a d6, please. Sorry, a d12.
Oh,
Tell me if you roll a 1. Who wants to roll it?
that's got to be the newbie, isn't it?
Oh, I was going to say that Ben and I have both already had ones tonight, so
Oh, exactly. So you're not going to get
maybe
another, are you?
it's your turn.
Well, I'll do it if. Well, I'll just hang on.
This is a job that has Luke written all over it.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I'm not. It's
yeah,
normally
yeah.
a single D6 with me. That's what
Yeah.
I don't like. A
It's
single
it's
D6.
d12, and yeah, tell me if you roll a 1.
I don't. I roll a 3.
Okay. Excellent.
Close.
It is close to it. It's only 2 away.
There we go. So what do you want to do?
If Keith now has an angle on the doors,
Mm-hmm.
I'm now going to move up until I'm tucked behind that first plastic plant pot outside the doors.
Right, got it.
Staying behind them relative to the Arboretum doors, but I'll move up to there.
Okay.
Are we going in?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't want to shoot if it's someone hiding from the bad guy, so to speak.
Wait,
It
are we the bad guys?
Are we the baddies?
are we the baddies? It strikes me at this point that if it was a murderer in there, I know there's 3 of us, but you know, chances are we would have at least seen shots fired.
Well, that's a possibility, though I would point out the only 2 victims we've seen so far were shot in the back. This may not be the kind of confront toe-to-toe murderer.
Right. Yeah.
If one of us stays by the door, so they can't make a break for it, and the other 2 peel in either side, try and I don't know, outflank him, force him into a corner, do something, but don't go in guns blazing. Go in looking for answers.
All right. I have a plan.
Oh, is it cunning?
Not necessarily.
Then what use is it?
It may prove actually to be catastrophic. What I'm thinking is this. Kind of opposite the doors to the Arboretum, there are doors to 2 rooms.
Double sleeping room?
Stateroom,
Yeah.
probably, yeah. So if you guys ran along the corridor and opened those doors and went inside those rooms but left the doors open, you'd not only have some cover, you'd also, the angle you'd have would make like a pair of crosses into a large part of the Arboretum between you.
Yeah.
Then if I creep around the plastic flowers and pull the doors open, so to speak, I can back away and you've got a sizable chunk of it already covered.
I think that's, between the 2 of us, we've got decent angles that way, for sure.
If that makes sense.
Sounds good.
You all right going in by yourself?
Well, I was thinking I'd throw the doors open and then back off again immediately, and then you could tell me what you can see the other side, and then we can take the next step and go in.
I like the idea of being hidden behind a door some distance away, it must be said.
Okay.
Just nobody Ollie, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then I will just stay where I am for the moment, hunkered down behind the plastic plants, and
Okay.
let them get into position.
Okay, in that case, then Luke and Ewan, I'm going to ask you both to make subterfuge rolls to make your way to those two rooms. Also, again, it'll be an opposed roll, and this time your difficulty will be 10.
Okay. Well, I've hit quite big. I've hit a 10 plus 9 is a 19.
There we
Wow.
My apologies. I hit an 11 plus 6 for 17.
go. Okay. So you both shoot across. You slip to the doors. The doors themselves are automated, but with the station as it is, it appears to be in an emergency mode. There are handles which you can grab hold of, and the hydraulics have been switched off. You can just pull them across the rollers, so they're easy enough to open. Just take a little bit of effort. So yeah, you pull that open. Both get yourself into position and look round. Looking, you can see now through the arboretum windows. There's grass in there. Looks to be about knee high. So all the open area in the arboretum is knee high grass. You recognise it straight away. It's genetically modified. It's like a genetically modified fern. So it produces more oxygen, basically.
Okay.
A lot of ships have them. The larger bushes and areas seem to be different fruits. There's apples, there's oranges. One of the small starry shaped one seems to be genetically modified strawberries. So it's a strawberry, but it's about the size of an apple. So there's quite a few of those. And behind it, the observation window, you can see out, but you can't see in. So there's no reflection from the outside. But yeah, you can see the vista outside. You can see that it's dark. The ice hasn't started falling yet. But yeah, that's it. You can see the faint shape of what you think might be the horizon and the glow, and it's like as the moon goes into the dark side, as it starts to rotate, that thin blue line off in the distance is basically just starting to shimmer and disappear. That's it. You don't see anything else.
Okay. Once they're in position, I'm going to creep round the side of the plastic planter.
Yeah.
And can I grab a door while, as best I can, while staying close to the frame,
Yeah.
and just yank it open and back away at the same time?
Before you open it, I will ask you to make a perception roll, please.
Yes.
Difficulty 13. Actually, no. It's going to be an opposed roll. Difficulty is going to be 11.
Okay. That is 7 plus 6 is 13.
Perfect. You see the bush just to the left of the door. It's a large, it's quite a thick tree. It's got actually 4 different kinds of fruits hanging from it. Again, it's probably another genetically modified plant. And you can see there's a figure in the darkness just behind it. And by the looks of it, they've got something in the hand, holding it almost like a baseball bat. Excuse me. And you can see that it's an impact drill, like a really big impact drill. So he's got it in his hands and he's there and he's waiting.
Okay.
This is before you've opened the door.
I'm going to let the others know I've spotted a guy just inside the doors. He's waiting for someone to come through the doors to hit them with a drill, possibly. I'm going to pull the door open and back away, see what he does.
Yep.
And I then do that.
You pull the door open. He steps forward, obviously thinking someone's about to walk through. Are you trying to keep yourself hidden, or?
hidden's probably a bit ambitious, given that I've just pulled open a glass door. But certainly back away as fast as he's coming on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's just it. He steps forward, thinking somebody was coming through the door. He sees you haven't stepped through, and you've stepped back, and he seems to be unsure what to do now. And he sort of looks to the right of the arboretum, and like he's looking at somebody that's there, and he's just looking at you. He's completely panicked, and then he can hear him going as the door opens and stays open, and he's staring at you. He's quite a tall, willowy kind of person. He's in a uniform.
Familiar looking uniform?
Sorry?
The same kind of uniform they wear on the station.
Yeah. It's just basic jumpsuits and a jacket going over as well. It's as when you open the door as well, you get this big waft of heat, almost like not tropical heat, but it's really, really warm, and you feel moisture in the air. It's quite pleasant, actually, to be fair.
I'm going to try something. I'm going to yell out loud enough for him to hear me. Thanks for the welcome. We're your relief.
Make a charisma roll, please.
Oh, this can only end badly.
Oh no.
Oh, my charisma's 8, actually. That's not
Okay.
too bad.
Well, your difficulty is going to be the basic 13.
That's good.
That's 7, so 15.
15, brilliant. He looks a little bit confused. He's sort of staring at you. He's obviously not seen you before. And then a look of panic goes across his face, and he goes, shh, shh. Then he sets back into the shadows. Luke, can you roll another D12 for me, please?
I can. It's a 2.
It's 2, not a 1 though, yeah?
Oh, well, I'm
getting
getting
closer.
closer. Someone else needs to do the next one.
No, the responsibility is yours now, Luke.
Suddenly acutely aware of the fact that there may be 4 people other than me in this area, all of whom are hiding apart from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly a shot rings out. Ben Ford's dead.
Oh.
So, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to say over the communications channel to the other two, the guy shushed me, but he didn't attack. What do you think? We go in?
I got a waft of that warmth, man. I quite fancy it. It looks like, from the sounds of it, he's scared then, right?
I mean, I've never seen anybody that frightened who wasn't currently on a skateboard.
Wow, the grass is long. I can't be certain.
It's true.
But should we go in?
Yeah. Okay, I'll wait until the others are sort of coming out to join me, so we go in a bit mob-handed, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I'll step in through the door. I'll have the weapon in my hand, please, but I'll point it down towards the ground at an angle rather than at anyone at this point.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'll quickly check to my right as I go in to see if I can spot the person I think he was signaling to.
Yeah, there's a lady to the right. She's hiding behind what appears to be another one of those giant strawberry bushes. She's got a spanner in her hand, an auto spanner. So at the top of it's whirring slightly. She's obviously turned it on for no apparent reason. But again, like him, she's looking absolutely terrified and she's ready to strike. She's wearing what appears to be a medical officer's uniform. So it's got the blue and white top, and you see the red cross on the chest. The other guy is wearing it's not military, but it's not it's almost like military fatigues, but kind of casual. He's smart, cash military, but yeah, he still backs away.
Okay. If the others are coming in, can I slide the door closed behind them?
Absolutely, yeah, it's no problem. Then suddenly the girl to the lady to the right sort of sees all three of you. She went, "It's them. It's the one whose pictures we got. They're the relief. They're here to release Thomas, Jumar, and Han." And the guy looks a little sort of, "Are you sure?" Yeah. The medical records were sent ahead of time. Yes, it's them. It's definitely them. he seems to relax and he lowers his guard a little bit.
Okay.
She walks forward.
All right.
You're who wanted Mr. Keith and Link, yes?
Yes.
That's us.
Yeah.
What happened here?
Well, a few hours ago, sensors picked up a tremor outside as if something had hit the ground, and we thought the ice storm had started early. And then we saw figures approaching. We thought it was you early because, of course, we're getting no communications out here. And so we opened the door. And these two people just walked in and just started executing everyone. No questions, no explanation, didn't declare who they were. They just walked in and then just started shooting.
Yeah.
The two guys at the door tried to escape. I know Alan tried to seal the door. He shot him in the head. The other one tried to run out. He got shot as he ran, and we were all there ready to welcome you. So we all just scattered, and they're literally just walking along and just shooting everyone.
Okay. So they obviously knew what they were aiming for. That's not, I mean, it may be an escape capsule, but it wasn't just a random drop, was it?
They came in an escape capsule.
Yeah.
Was it far from here?
Not very.
I don't understand how they could have made it, considering.
Considering what?
Well, they were both armed, but they were both absolutely naked. And that's where we'll leave it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear about the cut of their jibs.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
Jewish.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So many questions.
Oh,
So
dear.
it is going to be a two-parter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
No, yes, definitely an escape capsule. You can't miss it, literally, because it's got a decent impression of Keith's face in it.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I suppose I better be in touch with you soon about planning for
Oh,
the session then. Wow,
That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, you get in
Wow.
touch, and I mean the adventure's all ready to go for the setup. So whenever you guys are ready, I'll be more than happy to run part 2.
Thank you.
Wow.
That would be brilliant. Thank you so much.
John, why don't you quickly pimp this game? Why don't you tell people where they can get it, what they need to do to get it? For
Yeah.
anyone that's still watching.
Dead simple. It's called Deep Space. This doesn't do it any justice. This is just the interior of it. I don't, it's PDF only at the moment, although I am working on a published version. And basically, it's just a science fiction role-playing game. It can be played as a generic science fiction role-playing game for whatever your favourite setting is, or you can use it my campaign setting, which is set 100 years in the future, and it's set during a new Cold War in space. Basically, if you can imagine like Alistair MacLean novels or Tom Clancy novels, but just put them in a science fiction setting, chuck it 100 years into the future, and chuck in some weird shit. And that's basically the game. It's rules like very simple: D12 plus your skill target number. That's it. And it covers things as starships. There's even a starship system, vehicles. There's loads of extras. There's 13 adventures, source books, supplements, and it's all available on Drive-Thru RPG. Just go in and type in Deep Space, a simple adventure role-playing game, and or go to Farsight Games, as it's spelt, on Drive-Thru RPG. Dead simple to get hold of, and every single book is only £1 each, £1 English pound each. If you buy them as a bundle, you save about 30%. There's about 24 books at the moment, and they're all really short. The longest one is the actual core rulebook, which is only 4 pages, but that in itself is a complete role-playing game that'll keep you going for ages. And then everything else after that is 2 or 3 pages, and they're all £1 each. That's it.
It's brilliant. Thank you, John. Really, really kind of you to run this for us. This is our second attempt at dying in deep space, and so
I'll be
far
happy
we're
to
doing
oblige.
brilliantly.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed that, guys, and thanks for having me on again. Thanks for coming out late. But But yeah, next time, yeah, we'll win part 2. We'll just see where it takes us.
That would be lovely. Thank you so much.
Can't
Cheers,
wait.
John. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone who's watched this evening, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Jake, Stormzy, anyone else that's still around. We'll be back on stream next Friday. Are we kicking on with Traveller immediately?
Well, yes, if you'd like to. We will be
Do some
ready to
graphics this
start
week, then.
campaign 4 if you're up for that. If you prefer another week's gap before we start campaign 4, a bit of a breather, that's fine too. Whatever you fancy.
We'll chat on that during the week. But what we do know is happening next Saturday is Orbital Blues. It's an Orbital Blues week.
It's an Orbital Blues week. Yes.
And but stay tuned if you're fans of John and you're here purely for John, and I wouldn't blame you. Stay tuned to our socials, and we'll let you know when he's back. We'll hopefully sooner rather than later. Yeah, maybe traveling next week, Stormzy. We ended season 3 last week, so very exciting. Season 4 starting. So anyway, we're all tired. We're all going to bed in our big Baltic Star bed. We've made just the lollygags are joining us. We've brought in an extra pillow for John this evening to join us in the Baltic Star bed. I've got some hot milk for him. We're all heading off there now. Thank you for joining us, lollygaggers. We're just leaving. But thank you, Mela, as always, and thank you.
Hi, lollygaggers. How you doing?
I hope you had a fantastic stream. That you joined us. I know it was good though. You missed John as well.
Oh,
perfect.
guys.
So the greatest raid of all, and it's the first time chat as well. Lovely. Thanks, guys. Next time. Orbital Blues next week. Join us if you're done. That'll probably run to a similar time as this. Anyway, let's go away. Go jump onto someone else or something. I don't know. We'll see you all soon. Take care. Cheers, John.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good night.